You're live. Hey, it's Elizabeth, Countess of Low Carb. And on this episode, we're going to interview Dr. Ken D. Berry, our keto expert, in a two-part series coming up next. Hi, Dr. Ken.
Hey, how's it going, Countess?
I'm great. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. I just had a busy day or morning in the office. I'm done for the day. I'm kicked back. I'm going to make some videos. I'm going to answer a bunch of questions. What's going on?
We've got so many questions for you, and I have so many questions to you. Kicking butt with intermittent fasting, a 41-hour fast this week. And I have to say, Dr. Ken, you helped me do it. Thank you.
Yeah. How good did you feel towards the end of it? Still plenty of energy?
Amazing. I went for a walk with my son. We went around the block. I mean, I felt like Superwoman. I did not think I would feel as good as I felt. So,
yeah, it's really awesome. Really awesome.
I have tons of questions, but the first ones I want to knock out, I'll save my fasting questions for the end. But the first ones that I do want to ask are a bunch of other people had some questions. So
Sure.
Someone has, per the ketone meter, I'm in keto. Oh, well, first let me say real fast. This is Dr. Ken. If y'all are new to Dr. Ken D. Berry, he is the best keto doctor. He has a #1 Amazon best-selling book, Lies My Doctor Told Me. It's in the description link below. A huge YouTube channel with all these free resources that if you have questions, he's probably done a video on it. And in fact, I have some video suggestions too, because I want a video done on some questions too. But
oh, excellent. Okay. First, speaking of books and Amazon, look what I got. Look at this. Does this look familiar, anybody?
I may have a matching copy.
I just got it today, and I'm already a few pages in. This is so helpful. It's like such a practical little guide to just help people get started. If you guys are brand new to keto, you need this book in your life. Right?
Thank you.
Anyway.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Yes. Mom's Guide to Ketosis. Run to Amazon and get mine and Dr. Ken D. Berry's, because his book has sold many, many copies. It's really good.
It's doing okay. I'm surprised. I'm shocked. Every time I check, I'm like, dang. Okay.
It's because it has so much good information, and the way that you give information is I can relate to it. So many people can relate to it. You put it in a way that we can all understand. So
well, good. That's what I was going for.
Thanks. Okay. So questions. Per the ketone meter, I'm in ketosis, but I'm having minor sweet cravings, like 1 square of the Lily's chocolate. I'm fine. Kind of mono. She's fine. So she's finding that she's craving some carbs. It's the tail end of my period. Are my hormones run amok?
Could very well be your hormones. It could also be that your gut is still populated by some carb-loving bacteria. That's very, very common. Or it could just be that you haven't completely broken the sweet sugar addiction yet. It could be any of those things or a combination of all three. The quickest way to nip this in the bud, if it is sweet-loving bacteria, carb-loving bacteria, or you haven't broken your sweet-loving addiction yet, is to do just what the Countess just finished up. Do an extended fast, 24 or more hours, because the carb-loving bacteria, if they're still on board, they can't stand that. They hate that. Your keto-loving bacteria, they're fine with the fast. They don't need you to feed them carbs every 2 hours. Okay, and so that's a great way to do it. If you feel like it's a hormonal thing, which it may very well be, then as you continue the ketogenic journey, each month that should get better. When you're, as Nisha calls it, getting close to Shark Week, you'll know that, yeah, this, and each week or each month it should get better if it's just a hormonal issue and balancing out with your gut bacteria. If it's just you haven't broken your sweet addiction yet, it's just going to take another month or two to get that completely out of your system.
Cool. Someone wants to know, how do you test? Because we've talked about hormone imbalances, and they wanted to know, how do you test for hormone imbalance?
The most reliable way is to go see your doctor or a good, reliable doctor and say, hey, I think my hormones are out of whack. Could you check them, please? And a good doctor will know what hormones to check. Usually a functional doctor. Usually, if a doctor prescribes bioidentical hormone therapy, he'll know which hormones to check. There are still a lot of doctors out there who are behind on the reading when it comes to optimizing a woman or a man's hormones, for that matter. And so if they say, oh, you don't need that, whatever, if you're a woman and they say, well, you don't have a uterus, therefore you don't need progesterone, you're done. They don't know what they're talking about. If they say, oh, you're postmenopausal, Therefore, you don't need progesterone anymore. You're done. They don't know what they're talking about. Here's why. You have progesterone receptors in your brain. Okay. Mm-hmm. So even if you don't have a uterus, you still got a brain, although some doctors may think you don't. Right? Exactly. Mm-hmm. Right. And so to me, that's a little male chauvinism or ignorance mm-hmm. raising its ugly head right there. Just because you don't have a uterus doesn't mean you don't need progesterone. That's kind of dumb to say. And then also, if you're postmenopausal, I'm pretty sure you still got a brain and you need progesterone. Otherwise, why would God have put those progesterone receptors on your brain? It's just like telling a woman she doesn't need testosterone. Women have testosterone receptors on their heart muscle. So if you got a heart, you probably need some testosterone for it to beat optimally, right? And so there's all these receptors on the different body parts. And so for a doctor to pretend that he knows what he's talking about and to say, oh, well, you know, progesterone and testosterone are all about your uterus and your pelvis. Mm-hmm. No, sorry, doctor. You need to do your reading.
Like Dr. Ken, speaking of doctors, if people want to do an e-visit with you, you do e-visit. Excuse me while I pour some Perrier over here.
Excuse me while I have a little sip of coffee.
If people want to do an e-visit with you, I hear the feedback I hear from people about your e-visits is so incredible. So people can just excellent. Go to, I'm going to put the link below, but they can just go schedule one with you and you can give them a 10-minute doctor consultation.
The quickest and easiest way is to just download the e-visit app on your phone. They have an app for iPhones and for Androids. You can download the app, sign up, pick me, and then just pick an appointment. And they come in 10-minute appointments. And if you've actually seen me in the office in Tennessee, it's a little cheaper, but that's not necessary. If you've never seen me before, we can do medical coaching on the eVisit app, and I can answer so many questions in 10 minutes. But every now and then I have people say, dude, I don't care how long it takes. I want to ask you every question I've got. And I'm like, okay, so there we go.
I love that. I'm toying with doing one of those.
Oh yeah, you should.
I feel like, I don't know. I don't know if that's a conflict of interest because you're such a good doctor. Like, you're such a good doctor. I must know your information.
Thank you for that. Thank you.
Okay. So someone says, I have a question for Dr. Berry. I've been taking red yeast rice for several years, which is the natural way to reduce cholesterol. Should I stop taking this now that I'm on keto?
Probably it's not necessary. Now, if you're still one of those people who are very spooky about your cholesterol level, red yeast rice is by far red yeast rice extract is by far the most natural way to keep your total cholesterol number down. Mm-hmm. If you've read enough to know that you don't need to worry about your total cholesterol level anymore, then I think it's fine to stop the red yeast rice. But back when I used to be worried about total cholesterol, mm-hmm. but I was also worried about statins, I would tell people to take a red yeast rice extract if they were also spooky about taking a statin. But now that we know, and really the cat's out of the bag about total cholesterol, that it's really not a molecule of concern at all. It's irrelevant. Actually, in women, I'll tell you this, all the research shows that if you're a woman, you live longer the higher your cholesterol is. True story. Like, literally, for women, if your doctor is giving you a statin and you're a woman, no. Wow. Now, it's a little equivocal in men still. If it helps a tiny bit, no, but probably not. But in women, absolutely, you do not need a statin. Now, if you've had a heart attack in the past, mm-hmm. all bets are off. You might need a statin. It might actually be beneficial in that scenario. But if you've never had a heart attack and you're a woman, no.
Interesting. Okay, I got a little curveball in here.
Okay, all right.
Oh wait, did I lose you? Did I lose you?
I'm here. I see you. Do you see me?
All right. New technology, this Zoom thing. I see. Okay, now I see you. I thought I just completely closed out everything we were doing. Okay, so she says, I'm fat adapted. I was doing a 15-hour fast, 9-hour eating time frame last week. I noticed a bit of eczema on my face, which I've never experienced my whole life. I know allergies were getting bad. I do have seasonal allergies, which typically every 5 years switch up for the medicine I take. I began to take Zyrtec, and I'm taking extra precautions and extra care of my skin to rehydrate it. Yesterday, the eczema spread to my entire face. I began to use cortisone cream. Is this related to keto?
First of all, that's not eczema. It's probably, definitely not eczema. Mm-hmm. It sounds like a contact dermatitis. Is it itchy? If you're watching, maybe you can give us a little more details. Mm-hmm. Does it itch? Does it burn? Has it responded to the hydrocortisone cream? It's definitely not eczema though.
Okay.
Okay. So probably not related to keto. You were either exposed to something. If you've taken any new supplement or new antibiotic or new prescription medication, it could be related to that. It could be related to some exposure you're not even aware of. But it might be eczema, but it's a short-lived eczema. It's not going to be anything permanent. Definitely not psoriasis. It might be a little temporary situational eczema, but nothing dangerous. Nothing that's not going to go away. The hydrocortisone cream may fix that, or you may have to go to your doctor and get a little stronger cream, but definitely that's not keto rash. And unless you ate something you're allergic to, it's not related to the ketogenic diet.
There's no itchy, just burning, just cleared up with the hydrocortisone.
It did, yeah. And so it could have been a little intertrigo, but more than likely it was a little situational or temporary eczema, but nothing to worry about.
Good. Yay. Good. Okay. So now for part 2 is intermittent fasting time. Yay. I'm so excited about these because we have a bunch of
Let's talk about
fasting
this.
questions.
Yes.
Why does my weight vary during intermittent fasting? Someone asked.
So weight is, for if you're a woman, which I suspect you are, your weight is so dependent on fluid shifts. Right. Mm-hmm. And so if you're fasting, you're not eating, you're drinking fluids, you're hopefully supplementing with some salt. But if you've never fasted before, it can freak your body out for a minute. Like, whoa, wait a minute. Because fasting is a freaky thing for your body. It's not dangerous. It's perfectly safe. But just think back in time, 30,000 years, right? Mm-hmm. If you fasted, you didn't fast back then, you starved. And so if there were no food, and your body was like, whoa, we haven't eaten any food in, 20, 30, 40, 50 hours, then your body's basically going to put on the brakes. It's going to be in deep ketosis. It's going to be burning your fat for energy. That's what it's going to be doing. Mm-hmm. But it might even hold up on letting go of all your fluid, because if you're not eating, you may also not be drinking, right? You may have fell to the bottom of a ravine and have a broken ankle and be trapped there. And so you're not eating or drinking anything. So your body might go, whoa, let's hold on to the fluids here for a few hours and see what's up, right? But if you keep drinking your fluids and you keep supplementing with your salt, it'll stop that, and it'll start to just pee off the extra fluids, because fasting is also very anti-inflammatory. You'll start to get rid of excess fluid the longer you fast, once your body gets used to it. But this may be a temporary oopsie by your body going, whoa, wait a minute, why are we not eating? But once your body gets used to that, it's like, oh yeah, I got this, no problem. But there's no danger from intermittent fasting, as long as you're not going more than 48 hours. If you go more than 48 hours, you really need to touch base with your doctor and see if there's anything else they would recommend. It's not that fasting is dangerous. I just say that, but so that I'm covered and so that your doctor is not as uncomfortable if you walk in and say, hey, I just fasted for 5 days, because your doctor's going to freak out if you say that.
Yeah. Well, that's one of my, so I've been researching on YouTube, that daggone YouTube.
Yeah, right.
about a 30-day fast. Yeah. And I feel like that's not in my forecast right now.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And I don't think anybody needs to ever do a 30-day fast, but if that's part of if you're called to that, if you're like, I feel like I need to do that to prove that to myself, it's absolutely not dangerous. Our body's got that. The record fast is over 365 days. That in modern times, right? Yeah, and this guy was morbidly obese. I think he weighed 450, 500, 550, yes. And he lost over 100 pounds, over 200 maybe. Mm-hmm. But basically, you're going to burn, for each 24-hour period you fast, you're going to burn about half a pound. That's all your body needs to go for 24 solid hours is the energy and half a pound of fat. And so don't think that fasting for longer periods is really going to make you just drop weight like crazy. Yeah. You will lose weight, there's no doubt, but it's about a half pound a day once all is said and done. And so I think it's really cool that that's all the energy your body needs to run you for a day, is just half a pound of body fat for most people.
That's amazing.